Masechet Sharin, chapter 10, Nikiyut. Nikiyut is a hard word to translate because it means like cleanliness. Cleanliness sounds like you organize your bedroom. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about your mentality and your approach to service of Hashem is you want to be clean before Hashem. What does it mean clean? Meaning that I don't want to be two-faced with Hashem. And I don't want to let my Yetzer Hara trick me that the mitzvah, Avera, is a mitzvah. Rather, I want all my deeds to be clean, pure of any ulterior motives, pure of any trickery that the Yetzer Hara might feed me. We'll give you an example. Okay, so the first step we said was Zehirut. Zehirut is being careful not to do outright sins. Then we had Zrizut. Zrizut was to make sure to do all the mitzvot that you can and not to be lazy. Now we're going to the next level, which is even though I don't want to do sins, I agree I shouldn't do sins, I agree I should do every mitzvah properly, but now I have to fight my Yetzer Hara because now my Yetzer Hara is going to start tricking me. He's going to start telling me this Avera is really a mitzvah, and therefore you should do it. And I have to make sure that I'm not biased, and to make sure I don't buy this false sale that Yetzer Hara is trying to give me. So, but at the end of the day, we all have desires. So how am I going to make sure that I don't fall into that? So there's a famous Ibn Ezra. He quotes the Ibn Ezra that says that by the mitzvah of lo tahmod, do not covet your neighbor's wife, do not covet your neighbor's house, right? So he says, how can the Torah command us on a feeling? I understand, don't steal, don't kill, that's an action, but not to have a feeling, how can I control my feelings? He says, you could. He says, because imagine that there was a pauper who saw the princess passing by his town. He thinks that I can marry her? No, he doesn't even think about it. He doesn't get depressed that, why I won't marry the princess. It's a long shot. She's way out of your league. It's not for you. How in the world would she ever pay attention to you? So therefore, you don't put it in your mind. He doesn't get upset about it. He moves on in life. So therefore, he says that the same thing with the Torah. You see somebody who has something nice, the Torah says whatever is meant for you is meant for you. And no matter what you do, if Hashem doesn't allow you to, you cannot damage that person. You can't take away anything from that person. So therefore, it's like the pauper sees the princess. I know that's not for me. That's not for me. That's it. It's out of my mind. Why should I entertain myself, lie to myself, and say, maybe I'll get it. Why him? Why him? Why him? Why not me? Whatever Hashem gave me. Whatever He gave him. And that's it. It's out of my mind, out of sight. He says, imagine I tell a wealthy person, you want to be wealthy? He says, yes, I know a place where there's a tremendous amount of treasure. He says, where is this? I'll go get it. He says, all you have to do is climb some crazy mountain in Tibet. No, Mapita, I'm going to fly to Tibet. Maybe I'll find it, maybe I won't. Climb a mountain for 3 days. What are you talking about? Forget it. But why? But he loves money so much, so he should cry and scream and yell and get upset that, why don't I have that money? Because it's not realistic. It's not for you. It's not for you. What are you killing yourself for? So the same thing, when the Torah says something's asur, you should say, it's not for me, that's it, it's not for me. What do I have to go and sit here and think, maybe I should get it, how will I get it? Will Hashem forgive me? Is it mutar? Will Hashem give me an excuse this time? It's not for me, that's it, finished. Why should I think about it anymore? It's preposterous, like the pauper thinking he's going to marry the princess. There's a mahloket he brings over here, of Tversky, he brings over here, there's a mahloket between the Ramchal and the Rambam. The Rambam says that a person should stay away from averot, but he shouldn't say I hate these things. Like you see those commercials, right? The nice cheeseburger. What should a person say? Oh, phew, nasty, chuchke, disgusting, right? Person shouldn't say that, says Rambam. Says the person should say I would desire them, but I don't do it because the Torah said so. So you say, wow, is the yofi, wow, this is chaval azman, man olam haba. But I don't. You know why? I have desire and I fight it because Hashem said I can't have it. But the Ramchal says no. The Ramchal argues. The Ramchal says no. You should think that if the Torah says it's not for you, that's it. I don't have a desire for it. I should cut it out of my mind completely. He says, you know why? Because if you have a desire for it, but you hold yourself back and you say, because the Torah says it's not allowed, what if that desire starts to grow? And the desire grows. Now it's going to be harder for you, and maybe you'll fall. So you should just cut it out of your mind. That's it. It's not for me. It's not for us. It's not for me. If I have desires, I'll have desires for mutar things, but not for forbidden things. And that's why he says, the Baal Tanya also says the same thing. Is the average person who's observant, he has a lot of temptations. So therefore, a person who wants to be Sadiq, he has to cut out those temptations, only have desires for things that are permitted and will bring him closer to Hashem. And finally, he says, which is really the meaning, deeper meaning of Nikiyut, is a lot of times people fall into this trap by business. He says we're going to go one by one, a few averot, everybody falls in, but the Gemara says, Rubam most people bagezel, right? We're gonna get there soon. Kuf Samechei. But most people with gezel. What's gezel? Stealing. Most people fall into stealing. Muatam be'arayot, and a few of them fall into immorality. The Rambam says that there's always going to be those people who have big tests with the immorality, and it could be they'll fall. There's always going to be such a thing, right? Not just in Yosef's time. It's always every generation. But everyone falls in avak lashon hara. What's avak? The dust of lashon hara. It's where a person says, "No, so how was so and so's house?" I'd rather not say. Whatever. His wedding was okay. Whatever. So then, what do you mean whatever? Well, makara, what happened? Don't ask. You're leading up to lashon hara. It's very easy now. Now you guys are curious. No, you have to tell me mapiton. What do you mean? So now it's called lavak lashon hara. Everyone, he says kulam. Everybody falls into, because it's not lashon hara outright, so you don't have such a defense to it. It's a very, very very, very small, minute level. Most people fall into that yetzer hara. But the first one, rubam bageza, how do most people fall in business? How? It's a surah, stealing is stealing. You would think that person would say, it's stealing is stealing, no? How could I do it? He says, no, rubam, most religious people, bageza, they end up stealing. Why? Because he brings a story. He says that the father told the son wanted to open a certain business. So it was on the same street as another Jew who has the same business. So then the young man's father told him, listen, don't open the business there. It's stealing the other guy's business. So then so the young man did it, and he sees him putting up the sign. He invited his father to the opening of the store. He says, why do you do this? I told you not to do this. He says, listen, Abba, I already signed the lease. I am obligated to pay rent for 2 years. I can't just back out of this thing, He says, so what? I told you it's not allowed. If you don't close the store, I'm going to break your legs now. The father told the son like this. Meaning to say that the son knows it's not allowed. But what did the son say? But I have a rent. I have to pay for 2 years. You understand? So he rationalizes. Right? By money, it's very easy for people to say, but Rabbi, they steal from us, so what's the problem? So I can steal from them. Right? You know how many taxes I have to pay for this and this and this, Section 8 housing, and for these people who are whatever. Why do I have to pay for them? If I have to pay for them, let them pay me. I'm going to go online my taxes. What's the problem? Hey. So then what happens? So there's the rationalization. Rubam bagezim. This is how exactly the yetzer hara gets you, because he pulls on your heartstrings. And he pulls on your, I can't, it doesn't make sense, it's not fair, I have to take justice, right? So therefore, a person has to know that's where Nikiyut comes in. You're a good guy. You won't steal outright. You won't go to a guy walking with $100 and take it out of his hand. But the yetzer hara will get you to rationalize and say, oh, nobody sees, I'll do from here, do from there, just like they do for me like this, I'll also do for them like that. So therefore, a person has to know that that's where Nikiyut is. And people say, I have a chiste heart. This is where you show you have a chiste heart. Baruch Nayolah.